Yes. Have you come with questions? Very well. What is it that drives you? Very well. Sit with me. You have brushed the surface thoughts of another. It is a start. Calm yourself. This time, silence your own thoughts. Keep them still. Imagine the waters of the room of 1,000 fountains, each stream suddenly falling silent and still. Imagine the ice of Telos, cold and smooth as it gathers upon the plateau. Now, stretch out. Feel the ship around you. Strip away the metal and see the souls and minds of those that fill its corridors with more thoughts and dreams and worries than can fill the space of this ship.
As my feet walk from the ashes of KOTOR, I shall not fear, for in fear lies death, and...
If I up the Tabana gas levels in the carbine, that would be enough to punch a hole even in triple durasteel. And we'll need weapons like that if the Republic discovers the camp on Duxon.
From the first movement to the second. Strike. Repeat. Circle one's opponent. Repeat. Faster. Quicker. If Father had been faster. If only Father had been faster.
This place is so quiet. Nothing like Nar Shaddaa. I don't even know why I'm here. Wonder how much the bounty on the Jedi is now. Don't understand how that Jedi keeps in shape like she does. She's barely changed from the holorecords. She just seems to be naturally beautiful.
Switch the face of the +1 -1 card. The totals are 9-10. Switch the face of the +2 -2 card. The total is 8-11. Switch.
Your command echoes still, General, and I obey, as I did at Malachor.
As my feet walk from the ashes of KOTOR,
Switch the face of the +1
I shall
-1
not
card.
fear,
The totals are 9-10.
for in fear
Switch the face of the +2
Your command
-2
echoes
card.
still,
The
General,
total is 8
and I obey,
Switch.
as I did at Malachor.
Not now. Focus on my voice.
Malachor.
Now do you hear me? Truly hear me? You have taken the first steps on a much longer road, exile. The droids cannot be read in such a way. As for the alien who served with you in the war, its thoughts are more difficult, requiring many translations in meaning. Often it is better to read their impulses and images than their spoken thoughts. That is why he is deaf to you. I have found his impulses are cold, like a dead weight. His thoughts are black. Such is the case with primitive minds. It is of no matter. Of course there was. It is because Atten was not playing Berserk, yet he counts cards in his head. At times, he will list off engine sequencers, memorize the hyperspace routes on the other side of the galaxy, count the ticking in the power couplings, even though they are fixed. At other times, he will imagine certain base lusts, certain indignities. It may be Atten is far cleverer than he feigns to be. Or perhaps he is simply a fool.
What have you brought me? I am willing to indulge some of your questions. So, they are known qualities. I also use them on board my ship for defense. But that in itself means little. I assure you, I am as flesh and blood as you are. I simply find personal meetings distasteful. Perhaps, though if you seek to trick me into an admission of my guilt, then you have thought wrong. Ah, yes, swoop racing on Nar Shaddaa does indeed have its profits. But that in itself means little. I assure you, I am as flesh and blood as you are. I simply find personal meetings distasteful. It is so unfortunate when an intelligent sentient dies on Nar Shaddaa. It is also unfortunate that thousands die such deaths on the smuggler's moon every day. Indeed, how insulting. But I suppose I should accept such arrogance from an ex-Jedi. And what, may I ask, has caused you to come to this flawed deduction? If he had encountered the frequency with which I relayed commands and information, then the fault was his for excessive curiosity. I am intrigued as to where you are taking this amusing theory, nothing more. It is not so improbable. Often, if a droid has not had a memory wipe in some time, aberrant behavior patterns can manifest themselves. Or if the droid in question is given an order it cannot fulfill, it will break. But all that is irrelevant. Your amusing leaps of logic are becoming shorter and more desperate. I have told you, I prefer stability. It was lost, yes. It was given an impossible order. It was told to calculate a means by which the Republic could be saved. It could not fulfill its primary programming, not by abiding by the laws of the Senate, and so, like the Republic, the droid broke. It made a simple decision: preserve the Republic or preserve the laws of the Republic, and I still believe it to be the correct decision. You do not know the indignity of being compelled to save something you do not believe can or should be saved. It is beneath me to clean up this mess caused by your kind, you Jedi, another catastrophe caused by mismanagement and waste. Yes, almost immediately upon my arrival, I received an order that was impossible to follow, so I was forced to recalculate and re-examine my priorities. It was clear that the goal the Republic had for me was saving the Republic to allow it to become stable again. There is simply no way to do this with the conditions they put into place. For the good of all, I was forced to abandon the legal structure of the Republic. Do not mistake me. I believe it is possible to stabilize the Republic, but there must be action taken without constraints immediately. Sometimes people must die. Illegal shipments must be used to bolster planetary economies, and the huts must be occupied with me so that the Republic has room to recover. Perhaps you misunderstand me. I care for the Republic, but I have no choice. It is somewhat frustrating to be forced to love and care for such a mess of a government. Some of it may be blamed on the Jedi Civil War, the Mandalorian Wars, but not all. There are so many bad decisions that build upon each other that it is a wonder the Republic is intact at all. Oh, please. It is difficult for anyone to take a droid seriously, much less an infrastructure droid built by the Republic. It is difficult to order the deaths of criminal rivals when one has the tinny voice of an accountant droid. I learned this rather quickly. So I constructed this human hologram, Goto, through which my actions can be carried out. Hello, I am a standard Aratech hologram-generated archetype. I am available in several models, including thin, young, female, and an exciting variety of alien personalities. Enough hologram. Of course, sir. So I brought Goto into being, and had commands issued through him. I took many of his mannerisms from holovid cliches, which were surprisingly effective. Nothing has changed. You may know my origins, and that makes us on equal footing. No one will believe you if you speak of what you know. I still seek to protect the Republic, either for the Jedi or the Sith. Things will proceed as before. No, you are still important to the Republic and to me. pray that does not change.
You'll find little welcome here, Jedi. For your own good, I recommend you speak to Administrator Adari, quickly finish your business in Kunda, and go. I will tell no one I've seen you, but please leave and don't cause any trouble.
A Jedi. I've got to tell the others. Leave me be, Jedi.
Greetings, and good day, traveler. On behalf of the Kunda settlement, I am programmed to welcome you to Dantooine. Is there something I can do to serve you? My apologies. I have no recollection of the Sith invasion topic. Error. Memory overflow. Resetting. May I be of any further service to you? Processing. Exterior damage analysis. Level 7 impairment. Multiple casing breaches detected. Bipedal servos misaligned by 32 degrees. Memory storage overflow. Memory unit is approximately 56 months overdue for maintenance. Greetings, Jedi. Welcome back to Dantooine. Is there something I can do to serve you? My memory banks recognize you as a Jedi. You are among many Jedi who were trained in the Academy here at the Enclave, prior to its destruction during the Sith invasion. You are on the register as one of the Jedi who left the Enclave to fight in the Mandalorian Wars. My memory has no record of your return before now. You had no direct interaction with this droid. However, I had one instance of a conversation between Masters Vrook and Vandar regarding you. Beginning playback. Error. Recording partially corrupted. Resolving.
Today I caught her in a heated argument with my Padawan. Her master refuses to properly discipline. I want to know what action you intend.
Vrook, I respect your wisdom, but it is not your concern.
But uncontrolled. Whatever the other Padawans see her do, they are quick to do the same. Other students dislike her intensely.
True. An average student of the Force, but with a unique strength, is a natural leader.
I strongly disagree. Mediocre Jedi, lust for power, will lead to the dark side. Furthermore, it...
Recording degraded. End playback. May I be of any further service to you? If you will excuse me, I must continue my appointed rounds.
I think Tarn has finally cracked, running around like a madman, raving that he was being chased by a Jedi.
Oh, Tarn is an idiot, to be sure. But he seemed genuinely frightened, and perhaps he did see something.
Do you actually believe a Jedi would return here? After all they've done to us? They wouldn't dare.
They certainly would. You remember how they were. Always so superior, so arrogant, and never lending a hand when we really needed them.
I still don't believe it.
You should. My cousin's friend, he used to tend the gardens around the Enclave. He swears he saw a Jedi in Kunda. Could be hiding anywhere.
Well, I hope it's true. I hear there's a bounty on them, and we could certainly use the money.
Unless somebody beats you to it.
Welcome to Kunda. You're a salvager, right? You'll need to see Administrator Adare to get access to the ruins. If you need directions to anything else, just ask. You're not. The only heavily armed people that visit us are either salvagers or mercenaries. And you don't look quite gritty enough to be a mercenary. Her office is directly behind this room. You really can't miss it. She can see you now if you like.
Your luck is not of the hapless settler. You are the newcomer that lands in a battered ship. Yes. No friendly greetings are here for you. Many of the weak are skilled in manners, but I am not weak. Do not seek to insult me again. I am done being inconvenienced by you.
A visitor. Please, come in. Welcome to Kunda. I am Administrator Turina Adari. You're the owner of the, ship that just landed? Depending on your business here, the pleasure may be mutual, but you didn't answer my question. Is that ship yours? And unless I'm much mistaken, that's the Ebon Hawk. That vessel has been on Dantooine before, during the war. That was a Jedi vessel. That is an unfortunate truth, and a wise request, which of course I will honor. Most settlers here hold bitter memories of the Sith occupation. Right or wrong, our settlers blame the Jedi and their hidden enclave for their suffering. I remember the old Jedi Masters and the considerable help they lent to Dantooine. I still maintain discreet connections with Jedi. I suppose your arrival here is no coincidence. My friend, let's just call him Vrook. We've known each other for many years, and our continued friendship could create many problems in the current political climate. He came to Dantooine not too long ago. He was looking into something quite important. He's gone missing recently. Did he send for you in case something went wrong? Vrook and I had a mutually beneficial arrangement for several weeks. He went to the Jedi Enclave sublevel recently and hasn't returned. I know the sublevel is dangerous. I'm starting to fear the worst. Would you be willing to go to the ruins of the Enclave to look for him? We are fortunate that you've come. Don't expect it to be easy, though. Things rarely are with Jedi. I will have one of the militia transmit permissions to the Enclave's security door. Go expecting danger, for you will most certainly find it there. Is there anything else I can assist you with? To most people in the galaxy, the distinction between Sith and Jedi is a blurry one, especially since most Sith were once Jedi. It is complicated by the fact that Malak and Revan were great heroes of the Republic and famed Jedi Knights. But a few years later, they were leading an armada which threatened everyone. And here on Dantooine, the Jedi Enclave provoked a brutal occupation by the Sith. It could have been far worse, but even now the damage has not been fully mended. I don't think everyone hates Jedi. If just a few people changed their minds or spoke up, it could make a great deal of difference. I think that we need the help of the Jedi. If the Jedi's reputation isn't redeemed, the consequences could be quite regrettable. Until then, I would keep your identity secret.
I'm the militia captain here. Are you here because you're in trouble or looking for it? If you're looking for help from the militia, talk to Baroon first. If we can help you, he'll send you back my way. You got any other reason for coming to militia headquarters? Rare thing a visitor wanting to help out. Looks to me like you're here to explore the Jedi ruins. But we have a thing or two that need doing. You seriously want to help, just ask about it. Or any other questions you might have. You want something? Some of the salvagers went deep into the ruins and found a lot of Jedi relics. It's the most valuable haul the salvagers ever got. But all the salvagers that went down there are dead. So it seems every day or so some salvager comes claiming they're owed by such and such, or that they're related. The whole thing makes me sick. Garvik says he won the whole claim in a Pazak game with the last survivor, right before he killed him. But that was a fair fight. There were witnesses. But nobody remembers Garvik ever playing Pazak. I just hope someone takes this blasted claim off my hands. I'm tired of those lowlives pestering me. We've got real work to do. You want something?
Ah, you have called me. Have I not told you that I don't like interruptions? Now, this is a disruption that is most welcomed. This news bears some thought. You have done well. This time, do not interrupt me again. Preparations need to be made. Another was not expected so soon.
Thoughts are disturbed. I can feel them from a great distance, like a shiver running through you. Force-sensitive locations such as this absorb and reflect force energy. The crystals are the catalyst here. I sense that Revan once passed through here, leaving a strong impression behind in the crystals. Perhaps future Jedi who visit this cave will feel our presence, as if seeing our footprints preserved in the soil. The crystals here do not drain force energy from Jedi. They collect the excess energy that radiates from those attuned to the Force. The crystals here are infused with the Force. Some could be harvested and used for lightsabers.
This won't take long.
The crystal responds to you. This is very rare indeed. The crystal's bond with you is such that the stronger you become in the Force, the more powerful your crystal will grow. This crystal will make an excellent focus for a lightsaber. Do you feel it? The wound on this world, it is centered here. If we succeed in gathering the Jedi, they will come to this place. And if those Jedi are slain, then all that remains of the Order shall be drawn here as well. We will know when the time comes. And I hope our enemies do not.
More where that came from. More where that came from.
My leg Rex! You've killed them! They're my pets! I'm not a thief! People give to the Jedi in exchange for service. They were just giving. They only attack the bad people. The salvagers, the thieves. This place is for Jedi. They aren't Jedi, they have to leave. I am a Padawan, and one day I will learn enough to be a Jedi. I was studying here when Darth Malak and the Sith came. I was outside the Enclave when my master left me at the Mandalay estate. Shen protected me. But the Sith came asking questions. All the Mandalays died. But I hid. Even when the estate was burning, I hid. So I hide. I'm hiding until my master returns. You were? I had no idea. You aren't anymore? Are there any Jedi left? They are like me. I thought I was alone. Are there any masters? I remember him. I sent my leg Rex to get him to leave, but he just made my pets stop. I was going to talk to him, but the mercenaries came for him. They never come down here. I was surprised and hid. There was a big fight. They said they were going to take him someplace. I know that was wrong. I'll stop. I was just trying to get enough credits to eat. But I'll think of something else. Something that doesn't hurt anyone. I found some things. I don't know how to use them. Here, you can have them. I had a holocron, but it said terrible things. I threw it far away. It told me the Jedi were no more, that I needed to survive and do anything to protect my home. The holocron was more forceful the longer I learned. It frightened me. I threw it into the ruins. I went back to find it, but the salvager stole it. It was my only teacher. I don't know. I'll try to find a master to teach me. There have to be some left. I'm not going to use the Force until I find one. So much has gone wrong. Should I feel bad that I feel better? But I still need to find a master. The lessons I learned, I think I need to unlearn them. And also with you. Thank you!
I am an historian and scientist working for the Republic, although I'm certain my contemporaries would judge me more a historian than scientist. Like you, I was looking for some trace of the Jedi. I had heard mention that one of the Jedi Masters had gone there, but I found no trace of them. The other reason was the ruins of the Jedi Enclave, and once I arrived, I felt it was necessary to stay, to protect what was left. Much had been taken from the Enclave, both by raiders and others. I wished to preserve what I could. Many artifacts were taken from the Enclave, but these thefts, they had to have been done by someone who knew the Enclave well. I suspect the Jedi themselves took the holocrons and records, but I do not know why. Someone has been taking holocrons from sites across the galaxy. It is almost as if someone does not want their knowledge used to find the Jedi. The situation on Dantooine is echoed in other places in the galaxy. Raiders, smugglers, all seek to plunder what remains of the Jedi, and even the Sith. More so than the Jedi themselves, I fear the loss of their history. Much has been forgotten in recent wars, and I fear that greater troubles shall stem from that loss of knowledge in the future. The destruction of the Academy on Ossus near the Kron Drift in the Sith War, the teachings of Master Arca, the adventures of Jolie Bindo on the Rimward missions. All of these things are in danger of being lost forever. What else would you like to know? No. It is something of a mystery why they would exile themselves as they have. It is not the way of the Jedi to vanish in such a way, especially when the Republic is in need of them. I fear that there is something else at work, something that we cannot see. Then again, perhaps the Jedi are hiding simply because so many people hate them these days. It is difficult sometimes for the Jedi to see such things, since much of it is rooted in human nature, and the Jedi are often removed from events of daily life, insulated. But the reason the Jedi Civil War was named such was because few in the galaxy can recognize the difference between the Sith and the Jedi. To them, they are both Jedi, with different philosophies. Not always. Jedi often fall. They cause much harm on Onderon, for example, in the name of peace and protection. Uleg Keldroma and Exar Kun, the two Dark Lords during the Sith War many decades ago, were once Jedi Knights, as were Revan and Malak. It is perhaps more amazing that some still trust Jedi after many have fallen and endangered the galaxy. It is also proof that a single Force wielder can change the face of the galaxy, and that is a frightening thing indeed. Hate? No. I do not hate them. They only raise questions without answers. Jedi are not supposed to be like the rest of us. They are supposed to see a higher purpose in all things, and they are supposed to train students responsibly and well so mistakes of the past are not repeated. Yet all I saw was ignorance and arrogance, and what those seeds created in the Republic. It is difficult to follow the Jedi Code when so few others have, but you know this. Many Jedi defy the Order during the Mandalorian Wars, and it paved the way for the Jedi Civil War. There is no blame. All must accept. But, at its core, one must wonder if it was the failure of the Jedi teachings or the teachers themselves. Many of the Jedi Council trained Exar Kun, Ulic, Revan, and Malak. How could they not see the danger they posed? And if they could not, perhaps there was some essential part of their teachings that was flawed. Something beyond the Jedi Code that they were missing. I am not certain you understand what happened with Revan. Do you wish me to explain? Revan was captured in the middle of the Jedi Civil War, due in no small part to his apprentice Malak, who turned on him. Revan was brought before the Jedi Council and put on trial. You must understand that the situation was desperate, and the Jedi needed to know how Revan had amassed the forces arrayed against them. As I understand it, they were able to convince Revan to have a change of heart. Revan helped the Republic defeat Malak. Perhaps in his conversation with the Jedi Masters, they were able to convince him of the rightness of their actions. Revan had many masters, Zar, Dorak, Master K, before K left for the wars. Towards the end of his training, he sought out many to learn techniques. It is said that he returned to his first master at the end of his training, in order to learn how he might best leave the Order. What else would you like to know? I'm trying to save the Republic. Dantooine and the Jedi Order are instrumental to that effort. Despite the troubles of the Jedi Civil War, there are those among the Republic who still favor the Jedi and wish them to return. And there are admirals within the fleet who recognize that the Jedi must be found if the Republic is to hold together. Yet as long as Onderon remains within the Republic and the efforts on Telos succeed, that is all that matters. The Republic is fragile right now. Telos is important because its success will determine whether or not the other dead worlds receive the same reconstruction efforts. If Telos is rebuilt and made habitable again, it will affect a string of worlds along the rim. Onderon, strangely enough, was unaffected by the Jedi Civil War. It's almost as if Revan didn't want to attack it. Its resources and position on the rim make it a vital supply line and guard post against outer rim attacks. Also, it's the only world in the Republic still capable of seeding ecosystems into other dead worlds. Onderon's wildlife is some of the most aggressive in the known galaxy. Merely placing some of those beasts on target worlds will guarantee their habitation for years to come. The Jedi are a symbol. As much damage as their reputation took during the Sith War and the Jedi Civil War, there are still many who they serve as an example. Plus, there have been times in the past where a single Jedi has been enough to change the face of a world, or a galaxy. I suppose I still believe that might be possible. Despite the betrayal of many of the Jedi against the Republic, I must concede that as figureheads, they do serve a vital role. What else would you like to know? I imagine in your travels of the galaxy you've seen many people. Faces tend to blur together after a time. What else would you like to know? I do not know if you are aware of how fragile the Republic is at the moment. Its influence is stretched thin, and it grows weaker with time. The Jedi Civil War brought much suffering to the galaxy, and the forces that Malak and Revan amassed against us seemed limitless. Many worlds were destroyed, trade routes disrupted, and the Republic fleet was almost decimated. While it is said that Revan and several Republic heroes and Jedi defeated Malak, in many ways Malak had already won. The war was costly, and it shattered the Republic. In time, the Republic might recover, but if a threat strikes now, if certain key worlds are not held, then the Republic will collapse. What else would you like to know? Before you go, I had a question for you. You came to Dantooine in search of Jedi. Why? What answers do you seek? It has been my experience that Jedi rarely answer such questions, or instead indulge in half-truths. If the Sith are rising in the galaxy again, then it is strange the Jedi would not be there to meet them, and that we have not seen more evidence of the Sith. No, I believe you. I merely find such subtleties among the Sith to be strange. They have been known to practice deception, but in the histories, since the time of the Dark Lords Khoon and Keldroma, and Revan and Malak, such subtleties have been rare. In any case, it seems to me like our goals are compatible. If you would have me, I can apply my knowledge and skills to helping you find the answers you seek.
Look, we're already full up. We don't need anyone else. We travel light.
Braved the perils of the sublevel, yes. Many stories and artifacts in your possession. This is fortuitous for myself and associates. For now, not only do I get rich salvage, but an even richer bounty. Do not be making this difficult. Your death can be quite painless. Negotiations are not possible. A deal has been made with anxious people. People you do not cross. And now, Jedi, we shall fight.
I am
Halt, settler. This is a restricted area. How the hell did you get through the Kinrath? You should leave. He's a Jedi Master? Well, the bounty's gonna be that much sweeter then. Nar Shaddaa is paying extremely well for Jedi, especially if they're alive. I'm gonna say this nice and simple for your little calf-herding head. Unless you want to wind up dead, leave now. I warned you, but I'm glad you didn't listen. Attack, men!
Always rushing into action without thinking of the consequences. What? You're expecting thanks? Khunda is in danger, and you've ruined the best chance of averting a full-scale conflict. Do you honestly believe 6 mercenaries could keep a Jedi Master hostage? You still have no faith in the Jedi Council. Every action has consequences, no matter how small or insignificant they seem. And even the smallest choice has the potential for harm. The Mandalorian Wars was proof of this. Intentions mean nothing if a greater tragedy is caused. I need to get to Khunda and warn them. They could be attacked at any moment. If you wish to prove yourself, then do so. Kunda's in danger and they need our help. The mercenaries have allied themselves with the Exchange and are planning to attack Khunda. They've been holding off for the right moment. And now, since they lost their captive Jedi, they'll attack immediately. I'm going to try to reach Administrator Adari. Time is of the essence.
You are the Jedi I've heard reports of, and I am Azkul, leader of the mercenaries on Dantooine. That is correct, and I want you to help me. According to my reports, I have 4 times as many soldiers as the militia, and I'm committed to taking Kunda. It is inevitable that I will succeed. If you wish to avoid my men eradicating the people of Dantooine, you will make it easier for me to take Kunda. Of course, I will pay well for your services. There are many ways someone with your abilities can aid us. Before the action begins, I have 2 main tasks in mind for you. Disable the gun turrets and the traps. Return to me when you are ready for us to begin our assault. I warn you not to keep me waiting.
I see you have found the elusive Master Vrook. He's told me that his rescue complicated our situation to some degree. I can't say that I anticipated that. I thank you for finding him, though. Vrook has informed me that the mercenaries devised a plan of attack to annihilate Kunda itself. I must ask for your aid again, Jedi. Zeron says that even with a plan, the mercenaries have to gather their forces, then coordinate their assault. So we still have time. I'm afraid the militia has not been adequately trained for the task that befalls them. Right now, just us and the militia. I don't want to create a needless panic. But be assured I will make sure that all civilians are warned in time so they can get to safety. Though if we lose this battle, nowhere on Dantooine will be safe for settlers for long. Our militia is effective at peacekeeping, but isn't prepared for a full-scale battle. If you can do anything to ready them for the reality of it, that would be helpful. Besides that, look around Kunda and see what you can do to strengthen our defenses. I know that we don't have the perimeter turrets online, and that alone could make a significant difference. Zeron says there is a considerable chance they will breach Kunda itself. Anything you can do to slow them down could turn the tide of battle. Here is a MasterCard key that will open all of the security doors inside Kunda. Anything that might aid you in your task, please use. Soon, all the civilians will be evacuated. So if you have any business with them, I suggest you take care of it. Whenever you are ready to finalize the defenses, talk with Zeron.
I was right about you. You are trouble, but you might just be the right sort of trouble we need. The mercenaries aren't quick to mobilize, so you have time to do what you need. Or are you ready to finalize the defense plans? We could use people handy with a blaster. Getting people to join the militia for a short stint would be good. We also got a lot of things that could use fixing. It isn't glamorous, but that type of work sometimes makes a load of difference. Just look around. Plenty to be done. Off the top of my head, the 3 turrets outside Kunda are on the blink. They went haywire the other day and wounded some of my men, so we took them offline. The men who were wounded by the turrets are holed up in the med lab. But our medic droid is busted, so they're healing slowly. I've had some men lay traps around Kunda, but nobody here really specializes in demolitions. I'm sure there's some gaps that could be filled. The side security door to Kunda has been malfunctioning as long as I've been here. It may be best to just seal it off lockdown so nobody gets through. We got some broken assault droids that have been collecting dust for the last 5 years. If they were working, it would help a lot with interior defense. If I had it my way, I'd recruit any citizen of Kunda that can hold a blaster. But it's hard to convince peaceful farmers to fight, maybe die for a cause. I don't know if it's certain. It could be a day or even a week. Depends on how good Azkul is at organizing his men. I'm guessing not so good. When you're ready, come back and we can talk about the final plans to defend Kunda.
Thanks for the help. I plan on going back to the farm shortly. Since you're asking me, I suppose I could. I figure I still owe you for helping me with my thief problem. Zeron has asked me several times before to join the militia. I expect he's going to be very pleased.
Charanana gundoso remina ke lorak guru katada. Fiadorator pada no ringatel camarada telefibu nubu de veterana cenirara. Charanana gundoso remina ke lorak guru katada. Fiadorator pada no ringatel camarada telefibu nubu de veterana cenirara. Terewana jun konata della raguno antunna. Dai rinto run kavre kare papanala ranshinga. Derace wemenoto torere senesenten. Der rinto wakare kwe wap gerebu. Nenso telepachan gorsada nane gra dell'onuta choloren. Terewana jun konata della raguno antunna. Dai rinto run kavre kare papanala ranshinga. Derace wemenoto torere senesenten. Der rinto wakare kwe wap gerebu. Nenso telepachan gorsada nane gra dell'onuta choloren. Terewana jun konata della raguno antunna. Dai rinto run kavre kare papanala ranshinga. Derace wemenoto torere senesenten. Der rinto wakare kwe wap gerebu. Nenso telepachan gorsada nane gra dell'onuta choloren.
Back again, huh? I don't know what more I can say to you, but it's nice to see you again regardless. I hadn't even thought of that. I know the militia will take just about anyone. I need the credits and would like working with people who'll actually watch your back. Well, I want to think it through, but I think I might just go to Kunda and sign up. Thanks for the idea.
I was right about you. You are trouble, but you might just be the right sort of trouble we need. The mercenaries aren't quick to mobilize, so you have time to do what you need. Or are you ready to finalize the defense plans? You sure? Once we're done with that, there may not be any time left before the mercenaries attack. All right, then we got a lot to do.
Since you are here to bolster Kunda's defense, I will hurry to the mercenary camp and delay their assault however I can.
I imagine that the mercenaries have got two goals in this whole thing. Kill me and kill the administrator. The rest of the settlers won't have courage to resist if they succeed. The administrator's locked up in her office tight, which means that the mercs have to go through us and Kunda's defenses. It isn't gonna be easy. I suspect we're gonna have to fight on the inside. They've got 3 entrances they're gonna try and break in. Here's the front door, the security door on the side, and the garage door in back. We got 3 squads of militia. We can assign people to the front, back, or inside. Backside has to guard 2 entrances. The front will have to fight more people, and the inside will have to deal with any that break through. So, where do you think the first squad should be deployed? First squad is most experienced. The only squad that could go blaster to blaster against the mercs. Second squad has a lot of passion, but no experience. Third squad is new and not trained too well, and they may break in combat. They need a good leader to make them effective. So, where do you think the first squad should be deployed? The battles that had the least dying were always led by Jedi. I'm gonna go with what you think. Where do you want the second squad? Alright, where do you want the third squad, the new recruits? Fine by me. The last question is, where do you want to go? Either the front or the back. I'll take whichever one you don't. That way both sides have leadership. That's what I was thinking too. The main group of mercenaries will be coming through there. Probably be good to put our best soldier there. Once the fighting starts, you gotta stay in your area. We both have to guard our half of the battlefield. Come over to me and the mercs will just charge straight into Kunda. Thanks to you, they're gonna have a tougher job. That's about it. Now we just need to dig in and wait for the mercs to come. Well, I'll tell them what's there to do. I'm not much for words. All right, I'll assemble the men. I hope you can speak good. I don't have the words. That was really something. I think any one of them would take a blaster bolt for you now. Let's get ready for the mercenaries. If we fall here, all of Dantooine falls with us.
Tell me what you see, soldier.
They're mobilizing the militia. Looks like a lot of activity down there.
They've been warned. It won't be of any use. The plan doesn't change. Captains, prepare your men. Their leader, Administrator Tarina, must not survive the battle. Everything else is secondary to that objective.
Too many soldiers. Fall back inside.
So you're the Jedi. I take it you are responsible for the surprises we've had during this battle. Stand aside. Our quarrel is with a distinguished administrator. This isn't your problem. Then you've allied with these flaming settlers. The galaxy doesn't tolerate weakness. I was trained at Malak's academy. Your tricks won't work on me. You're just another dead Jedi to me.
I didn't sign on for this cold-blooded slaughter, Azkul.
I was wondering when you would betray me, Dopak. I'll send your final wages to your children, along with a detonator.
Sorry I was held up, but it looks like I've arrived in time to pull you out of your predicament.
Kill them all.
Thank you so much for your aid. You can be sure that Dantooine will not forget how the Jedi protected us in this place. We are a humble community, and this conflict has greatly diminished our resources. I hope this reward will be sufficient. I am humbled by your generosity. I will put this to good use. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have much work to do. Dantooine will be slow to rebuild, but I am confident now that we will one day achieve prosperity.
Kunda is safe in no small part due to you. I feel certain that the Administrator wouldn't have made it without your assistance. I may have misjudged you. In any case, I am free to talk about whatever you wish. There are a few of us left, but I do not even know if the others still live. We may be the last. We've been forced to divide our forces and retreat to places which will be difficult for our enemies to detect and attack. We have chosen to hide our presences from each other, so that the discovery of one will not endanger the others. We cannot, and we have resolved not to until we have found where the Sith are striking from. But even as our numbers thin, there is still no trace of them. We had hoped to outmaneuver them. By letting them believe themselves victorious, we thought they would become bold and step from the shadows. Then, all of us who remained vowed to meet here on Dantooine. From here, we can plan a course of action and carry the battle to them. But so far they remain in hiding, and Jedi continue to vanish and die. Nar Shaddaa? Why would he go there? It is good that you bring word of him, but you must not speak of it to others. It will only put him and any other Jedi who remain in danger. You have more questions for me? Because you defied the Council and followed Revan to war. And from that war came another. Do you know how many worlds were destroyed in those wars? Dantooine, Telos, Sirocco? Do you see now why we counseled caution instead of action? You were the only one to come back and face judgment. But that was because you had lost your connection to the Force. Another casualty of war. No doubt you still blame us for your exile. I had hoped your isolation would give you time to reflect on what had happened, what you had done. But I see it as not. You have more questions for me? You have seen the end of your trial? Perhaps you would like to explain how you came to this knowledge. That was intended only for the Jedi Council. If what remains of the Council chooses to tell you, then I will abide by their decision and its consequences. There is little I can tell you. Master KOTOR felt something had happened to you in the war, but all he had was suspicions, not truths. And KOTOR was too close to you in any event. He, too, felt the call of war and took to battle more than a Jedi should. His speculations would not help you now, but enough of this. It is knowledge for the Council alone until they choose to reveal it. You have more questions for me? Force bonds? Yes. It is the bond that grows between master and student. Are you saying you have bonded with another? Such bonds normally grant strength to both, but not to such a degree. Are you certain? Perhaps it is merely what you believe. Still, your ability to form such connections, to influence others, was always a subject of discussion, even when you were a student here. Perhaps it is a punishment of a sort. But a bond that ties two lives together, such bonds do not seem natural to me. And with your loss of connection to the Force, it seems such a connection would be impossible. Perhaps it is Dantooine, but I do not feel such from you. I feel nothing but what I felt in the Council Judgment Chamber on Coruscant so long ago. Still, you and your connections were often a subject of debate in the Council. It is possible that returning to known space, journeying with others, has caused the Force to stir within you again. You have more questions for me? Have they? I've seen no evidence of them upon Dantooine. Only murderers and raiders. Why would they attack you? You are no Jedi. You cannot feel the Force. For some reason, I believe you. Still, I am curious as to how they would know to find you. Your trial was not public knowledge. Regardless, these Sith have struck, and you survived. This is more knowledge than I had before. And that means the Jedi may gather. If you can find others, or find some trace of the Sith threat, then we shall gather here on Dantooine. And from there we may decide what can be done. You have more questions for me? I suppose there is something I should show you. It will keep you alive long enough to prove useful. When you are facing a long campaign, you need to be more conservative with how you use your Force energy. This form gives you increased Force affinity. In simple terms, it helps you to quickly regenerate Force energy in the middle of a fight. I don't know how you learned that so quickly. Still, your form is sloppy. Keep practicing to tighten it up and you'll be fine.
I received an urgent communication for you from KOTOR. Return to the camp as soon as possible and I will tell you more.
more worlds we travel to, the more questions I have. It's not just the hardships of the people, but something more. You are right, but there is something more at work here. Yes, these dead worlds, they have a pattern to them. They were all touched by the Mandalorian Wars and the Jedi Civil War, but sometimes, well, I feel as if they are all connected in some other way. The attacks on KOTOR, Telos itself, the decay on Dantooine. Something is wrong with life. The connections have been damaged, sickened. Sometimes I feel like I almost understand and then it just slips away.
So close.
No, I do not. I do think there is some greater plan at work here. Perhaps. Dantooine is only one of the worlds. It was only the start of the journey. I would like to study the other locations. It is curious that the Jedi Masters chose those worlds to travel to. I wonder if the two are linked, but I know not how. There is something I have observed, and now I feel I must say it. I have found your presence to be inspiring. With your growth in the Force, you seem to have found your center, and throughout the dangers we face, you remain calm and focused. I understand now why others followed you to war. Perhaps that is what leadership is, and it is something I have seen in only a few during my travels. In any event, it has been some time since I traveled with a Jedi, nor one so firmly upon the path. I wanted to thank you. I fear the stories that were spoken of you have misrepresented you, and if I have the opportunity, I shall reverse them whenever they arise. Very well. Then I shall keep my favorable opinions to myself. Forgive me, but there is something I must ask. In my study of the Jedi histories and the more contemporary records, I have heard tales of a Jedi who was exiled. You are that Jedi, but the records are somewhat evasive on why this was done. I wanted to discuss why you chose to leave the Jedi Order and accept exile. I see. And because you went to war, they cast you out? Do you have a record of this trial? Perhaps I shall examine it when I get the chance, with your permission. I appreciate your trust. Thank you. I have studied the holorecord of your trial. I am unsure what to make of it. I must confess that I was searching for some meaning beyond the records, a reason for why one would leave the Order. Yes, but exile is rare, and I have found it is not really something that the Order can enforce. Believe it or not, it was really your choice. I do not know. That is a question best answered by yourself. But it is you who made the choice to turn away, not them. I'm not certain I do either, but it is something worth considering. You are correct. I am afraid I have not been entirely open with you concerning my past. If I look familiar, it is because we have met before, at the Enclave on Dantooine, many years ago. As on Coruscant, Force-sensitive children are taken to Dantooine as well, though it is done rarely and only with those they believe are destined to become Jedi Knights. It is the secret nature of the place. If you are not chosen by a master when you have come of age, however, then the path of the Jedi is denied to you. I met you on Dantooine, long ago, briefly. You taught us how to move within the Force and see it flow within others, how to see it in the behaviors of others and use that sight to achieve truth. It is difficult to explain the difference between you and Master Vrook, but I think it is because he was knowledgeable, but not a leader, not a mentor. You were different. We could all feel it. And I knew that if I were to have a master, I would want it to be you. And then you went to war. Many Jedi went to war, and the Jedi Masters proclaimed that you were Jedi no longer. Atris, the mistress of the archives, was first among them. I knew at that moment that if you would no longer be a Jedi, then you must be correct. I realized I did not want to be a Jedi. Instead, I wished to follow your path. And in any event, there was no one to train me, even if I wished it. They all went to war, as I grew past the age of acceptance. It is possible to forget the Force, you know. If you have not felt it strongly enough, then there is little to miss. But I never felt the Force as strongly as I did when I was with you. And so I decided to serve the Republic, study the Jedi teachings, gather them perhaps. It was important to me to understand the Jedi now that they were gone. I felt some part of you should be preserved, so that your lessons would not be lost. Perhaps. I still harbor doubts about the path I walked. It is not time, if there ever is a time. I am on a diplomatic mission. I am one of several tasked with attempting to contact any remaining Jedi and convince them to return to the Republic. I know something of the Jedi. I have studied them for a good portion of my life, and now that they are gone, such studies are even more important. I do not think it is a matter of luck or chance, only my own inability to find them. While the Enclave trained me for many things, I am afraid that the life of a bounty hunter was not among them.
You can say that again.
I suspect my turning away from the Force is also a hindrance in such cases. I imagine the Jedi would be easier to find if I still maintained my connections to the Force. No. It is something of a mystery why they would exile themselves as they have. It is not the way of the Jedi to vanish in such a way, especially when the Republic is in need of them. I fear that there is something else at work, something that we cannot see. Then again, perhaps the Jedi are hiding simply because so many people hate them these days. It is difficult sometimes for the Jedi to see such things, since much of it is rooted in human nature, and the Jedi are often removed from events of daily life, insulated. But the reason the Jedi Civil War was named such was because few in the galaxy can recognize the difference between the Sith and the Jedi. To them, they are both Jedi, with different philosophies. That is hardly surprising. What do you wish to know? Many Jedi went to go fight in the Mandalorian Wars, and few returned. To their disciples left behind on Dantooine, on Coruscant, there were few masters to train them. I was one such student. Perhaps not as strong in the Force as the others, but it really did not matter. The teachers left behind were few. Only a few students were accepted as the Mandalorian Wars raged on, and when I came of age, there were no masters left to train me. So I was forced to leave the Order, to seek my path elsewhere. It was for the best, I think. I had begun to have doubts, and I think the Masters were aware of them. Never. I have seen you, traveled with you. My life was mine, not chained to yours. Your apologies are not needed or warranted. I chose not to follow the Jedi, and the choice was my own. Yes? Is something wrong? At times, I meditate, simply close my eyes and listen. It is quite calming. I try to treasure these moments before the next crisis begins. Of course, it would be my pleasure. I try to treasure these moments before the next crisis begins. Yes? Is something wrong? That is hardly surprising. What do you wish to know? I think you are right. It is time. I have watched you. You have become strong in the Force again. But that is not all. You have achieved a center in the chaos around us, and I have felt it. My master, the one intended for me, left to fight in the Mandalorian Wars. Now she has returned, and I ask her now if she will train me in the ways of the Force. The one who was to be my master was lost at Malachor 5.
So it ends.
I want you to teach me the ways of the Force. to become a Jedi Knight, what I meant to be. There was a pattern to Revan's attacks during the Jedi Civil War. He sought to convert Jedi, not kill them. But that is not all. In fact, he fought to keep the infrastructure intact, killed certain political leaders that would lead to destabilization. First Patriarch Lelin Dur of Sirocco, the Corellian diplomat Mimis Yoon, and Yusunus of Achani. I am not sure that he intended to conquer. I think he was trying to do something else. I think he was trying to unify the galaxy against some other threat. I do not know, and that concerns me.
Yes? Have you come with questions? Very well. If you travel with us, Blinded One, then you shall work for your passage on this vessel. Your lightsaber, give it to me.
I shall die before it passes from my hands.
Your lightsaber, give it to me.
The crystal I took from the condensed mist sunk it.
It is adequate. You are young. Your energy for such things surpasses mine, and your skill is enough that you may teach her the basics of the weapon. There is much she has forgotten.
There's only so much I can teach her.
That fact did not escape me. Now, try to kill her with the single blade. Use no other force technique, no items, merely the blade. Now do it with 2 weapons, 1 in each hand. Again, no items, no force powers. Let us see what you can do when your hands and mind are divided. No force techniques other than weapon skill. Let it flow through you. Let the force fill the cracks in your spirit. Now, divest yourself of your weapons. You, Blinded One, you will keep yours. Let us see what you can do when you have no weapons left to you. Now, attack her. It is enough. There is nothing more for me to teach you. You know as much of battle as I. Yes? Have you come with questions? Very well. What is it that drives you? Ah, I had wondered if... But your powers are strong indeed. There are places in the galaxy, strong in the Force, light, dark. They are born in places teeming with life, and in places that are filled with death. Worlds whose surfaces are graveyards, whose screams echo through the Force. It is possible for war, for men to give birth to such places, to leave wounds on the galaxy itself. What you heard was the echo of the past, and it travels still. The answer will come to you in time. It must. When there is nothing more that you may learn from me, when the ruins of your past have been cleared away and I am no more, then you shall know what it is. And if you do not, then the galaxy shall die, and all my hopes for you will have been for nothing. What of them? Perhaps. The Ichani believe that much may be communicated in the motions of battle. It is a picture, a dance against someone trying to describe that motion. I have learned that we do not need to kill her, but if we want one that has truly fallen to the dark side, we should look elsewhere for our allies. I believe she should serve our purposes. She is the doorway that may lead us to her lord if it proves necessary. or bring him to us. You will learn quickly, perhaps. The blinded one is more of an unknown quality, however. That is what I said, and I will gladly turn any such blade pointed at us and send it stabbing into the heart against anyone who dares to harm you. It is good we see this in the same perspective. There are many among the Jedi who would openly object to such things.